We are going to have a new champion. That's right. The last team who won the NCAA tournament is out. Virginia, the 4 seed, loses to the number 13 seed, the Ohio Bobcats. So Virginia's out, Ohio advances, and consider this. Ohio State, they're gone. Ohio, not gone. Buckeye. 62-58, and look, Ohio just started hitting some big shots. Yeah, in the second half of the second half. They were rising up and knocking them down from 3. Tough shots, big rebounds. And really the difference as the Ohio Bobcats get it done. They were getting 7 points. They went in the money line. And oh, by the way, if you're watching HQ, both of our experts, Chip Patterson and Tim Doyle, said, we're telling you now, Ohio is not going to even need the points. They're going to win the game. Take them on the money line. Boom. That's why you watch. All right, Matt Norlander jumping aboard. So, look, is this saying more about the fact that Ohio's really good, which is obviously part of it, or more about the fact that the ACC and Virginia overrated, and they just really weren't a terrific team this year?
It's neither, Eric. It's the fact that Virginia had to have all of its players sit in their own rooms for a week in quarantine. They didn't get into Indianapolis until Friday, had to test twice in quarantine again upon arrival, basically had one half practice, essentially, before playing this game. And, oh, by the way, it's the small stuff, though. Like, Virginia wasn't even given the benefit to play in the very last TV window. It didn't get the benefit of playing in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil or Bankers Life Fieldhouse or Hinkle Fieldhouse or Ooey Pooey's gym. It had to drive to Bloomington. Like, it was given every imaginable hurdle here. Credit to Ohio. Jeff Bowles is a wonderful coach. Jason Preston is going to wear an NBA uniform when he leaves college to head to the NBA. But Virginia was given every possible hurdle here. Like, it was the only consideration it was given was it had no choice. If it was going to play, it had to play on Saturday. It couldn't play in the first round on Friday, but it was a rush job out of necessity, I guess. It would have been, certainly they would have preferred to not tip until the final TV window, maybe play in Bankers Life Fieldhouse or Hinkle, and just be able to, take a 2-minute bus ride instead of busing all the way up to Bloomington. I still don't get that decision by the NCAA in regard to that. Virginia was a good team this year. It wasn't a great team. And now this, I don't know if this closes the circle on a weird 4-year deal, but here's Virginia's past 4 seasons. 2018, number 1 overall seed, loses to 16 seed UMBC as the first in history as a 1 to drop to a 16. 2019, the ultimate redemption story in sports. They come back and they win the whole freaking thing. National champions. Last season, we don't even have an NCAA tournament. Virginia had a down season when that happened. And now here, 2021, it gets upset in the first round again to Ohio, which has a history of making some noise in the tournament as a mid-major. But Virginia's weird season comes to an end after COVID issues prompted, a quarantine that ultimately led to, oh, by the way, only one player, Justin McCoy, who did not travel with the team. Justin McCoy was the positive test. Everyone else was good. They traveled and they get knocked out. A strong second half performance by Ohio. Eric, with Virginia's situation, it doesn't speak to the ACC. They had a unique deal all to themselves, and if they had won, it would have been remarkable, even considering the circumstances. I was on the phone with 2 coaches in the past hour or so talking about Virginia's specific situation, and they were basically saying, to come back from what they had to and play an NCAA tournament game. Like, it would have been unreal for them to win, so it's no surprise that Ohio gets the upset.
All right, let me play devil's advocate. It sounds like you're making excuses, and they're Virginia. They're the 4 seed. They were big favorites, and it is an indictment of the ACC. Carolina didn't have these problems. They got blown out. Virginia Tech, they lost. Georgia Tech, they lost their one player, the ACC player. Goodbye. Clemson, they didn't have any problems. They're gone. They have 1 win and 5 losses as a conference. They are terrible. They were overseeded. They weren't any good. And you can't even beat Ohio. No excuses, no problems. You're supposed to be Virginia. They're a mid-major. I don't want to hear it. You say what?
I know you're playing devil's advocate, but that's not how sample sizes work. We saw what the ACC was for most of the season, and it wasn't a great conference. But just because, like, the Pac-12 has yet to lose a game. It doesn't mean the Pac-12 is the best conference in America because it's yet to lose an NCAA tournament.
No, but it means
game,
that they're underrated and they were undefeated and that they didn't get the respect.
No, it doesn't. It's a 4-game sample size, Eric, versus 3.5 months worth of data. So it doesn't actually. The narrative's often filled in the tournament, but it doesn't. It's just not how it works. I mean, it's just because you have 1 or 2 results in the tournament, it's not a greater narrative reflection on what a conference did in a season.
1 in 5 is not 1 or 2 results. 1 in 5 is Carolina getting their doors blown off and them not getting any wins. And it's the Pac-12 pulling upsets, beating Tennessee in a 5-12 game, and thus far being undefeated. It's not nothing. That's got to come into some weight here.
Nothing, but it's not everything either. And oh, by the way, Georgia Tech didn't have the ACC Player of the Year and had to face a top 10 KenPom team. If you put a Pac-12 team against Loyola tomorrow, it also would lose. So just keep that in mind. We can have a little fun, little back and forth here, but I want to provide objective, big picture analysis for our viewers here. The ACC was average this season. That is being reflected in the NCAA tournament results. But Virginia losing to Ohio because of the situation it was presented with has nothing to do with the overall strength or lack thereof of the ACC.
So you're saying this isn't an upset. That's the bottom line?
It is an upset, but circumstances need to be taken into consideration. It is an upset, but I'll tell you this. I have high confidence, and this is not just my opinion, it's the informed opinion of the coaches who are, this is their job, that almost every single team, not necessarily maybe Gonzaga or Baylor, if they had to go through what Virginia just had to go through, no matter the conference, they would have been beat by Ohio tonight as well. All
right. Matt Norlander on Virginia going down. We're going to have a new champion. It's going to be an awful lot of fun, and Ohio gets to move on. Now let's take it from their perspective. How good's Ohio? I mean, they're going up against Creighton. Will they be able to move on past there? The Bobcats, they do have a guy who will be a pro. We shall see. Should be an awful lot of fun. Ohio moves on. Virginia is eliminated.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.